Tennessee has said enough is enough when it comes to guns, and they are the first state in the union to actually mandate this for all kids in all schools from kindergarten on up till 12th grade. So today I'm going to tell you how Tennessee is taking gun safety into their own hands, not by shielding kids away, not by creating more laws against law-abiding gun owners, but they are going the complete opposite direction. I'd love to hear from you guys, man. What kind of an impact do you think this could make for all schools if they were to implement this? Let me know what you think down below. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So a brand new Tennessee law actually is now mandating that every single school in Tennessee has some kind of firearm training for kindergarten all the way up until 12th grade. Now they're giving these schools a little bit of time because this is for the 25 and 2026 school year. So of course it's a brand new program, so they're going to have some things that they actually have to kind of overcome when it comes to logistics and things like that. They're also making it age appropriate, right? So what you're going to teach maybe somebody in 10th grade is not what you're going to teach them in 1st grade. But there are some core things that, from what I understand, they're teaching all of these kids. What makes this interesting and different, and really the first of its kind, is the fact that they are teaching every student every single year in every single grade, and parents cannot opt out of this. There's going to be some schools and districts, of course, that will send letters home and let parents know what they're doing at schools. But it's not your just simple, hey, you see a gun, don't touch. There is, of course, some of that. But they're also teaching about mechanical knowledge of guns, how to tell a fake gun from a real gun. They're going to have them practice firearms, safe storage, things like that. And of course, they are going to kind of tell these kids, you know, hey, if you see a gun, here's what you do and here's what you don't do. One of the best parts about this is it's literally 8 pages. That's it. You're not talking about 100, 200 pages or more. So it's leaving some room for schools to kind of implement their own program. But of course, there's some guidelines that they're going to have to follow. But it does leave open opportunities, like if a school, wants to just do a video presentation, they can do that. Or if the school wants to opt in for more hands-on training, which I believe would be the absolute best case scenario, then you get them exposure to this so it's not so stunning whenever they happen, or if they happen to see a gun out in the real world, right? You show them a video of it, okay, yeah, they've seen it, but if they actually get hands-on experience with somebody that's trained there, this could be an absolute game changer when it comes to school safety throughout, and there's actually stats to back this up. So they're actually working with Tennessee Department of Wildlife as well. They have people that are trained in gun handling and all of that kind of stuff to bring this information to them. So you may ask, well, what the heck is that going to do? First of all, it's going to remove a lot of the stigma, a lot of the curiosity as well. You take a kid that, starts in kindergarten all the way up till 12th grade. By that time, they are so used to kind of seeing guns, they know how to handle them, they know how to store them, they know how to shoot them, they know the parts of them. And you're giving them training that a lot of these kids may not be getting at home. You're normalizing the gun culture. Look, there's 4.6 million, according to some estimates, 4.6 million kids that live with at least one loaded gun inside of their homes. You're not going to change that. That number's only going to rise. And some schools kind of punish curiosity, right? So I know I've said this before, but when I grew up, cap guns and stuff like that, like every single kid had one at some point. Now, if you make a Pop-Tart into a toy gun, I know you guys all seen that story, you get suspended. If you wear a pro-gun shirt at school, suspension. Instead of teaching, they demonize when the stats are out there, right? There's a bunch of kids out there that actually live with loaded firearms. And this is a constitutional right that these kids are going to be afforded once they get to a certain age. So when it comes to voting and taxes, driving, and other life lessons, we're willing to teach them, right? They need to learn this stuff. When it comes to a right that they are going to absolutely get, right? If they stay on the straight and narrow, which, let's be honest, most kids do, they're going to have this right. And chances are they're going to utilize this right, which is a fantastic thing. Why not teach them beforehand? So I was looking for something, some kind of solid stats on kids that are actually taught inside of the home. Does that make them safer with firearms? And I found this Rutgers study from 2024 that said no. Kids that are taught by their parents about safe gun handling are more likely to keep loaded firearms that aren't secured inside of their home. So this was actually looking at parents' behavior, not kids' behavior. So after doing some more digging, I found a study from 2021 through the Journal of Pediatrics that found kids, actually kids and their gun safety, handling, all that kind of stuff, when they actually have supervised training, they are way less likely to use a firearm in an unsafe manner. There was another study from another pediatric group in 2017 that found that untrained kids were 3 to 4 times more likely to pull the trigger on a disabled firearm, when they run these kind of tests. They'll put a child in a room and, hide a gun or something somewhere and kind of see how they react to that. Switzerland, Israel, all of these places have mandatory training when it comes to firearms. So you see a lot less accidents when it comes to kids around guns. There's shooting sports that some schools have completely taken away, but these things have thousands of kids that target shoot, clay shoot, all that kind of stuff, and basically have like 0 accidents. But here's what Tennessee is not doing. They're not saying, oh, we need to pass mandatory safe storage or red flag laws or, a new gun law that absolutely won't work. They're saying, let's teach these kids. But also, it's going to be different for parents too, right? If you're a parent of a toddler, you're probably going to keep everything, securely locked away. If you're a parent of a teenager, of, a kid that likes to hunt, he likes to shoot, all of that, maybe you make a different decision there. But it's up to parents and when they decide to teach them and what level of security and storage that they want to utilize. You have to make that decision for yourself. You know your kids better than anybody. So a one law mandating that they have to do this and they have to do that, those things don't work. And unless somebody's coming into your home to inspect, they wouldn't know anyways. The point is, this isn't about scaring kids away from guns. It's about educating them like everything else we do in our society, including constitutional rights. Everybody remembers stop, drop, and roll. But to have some kind of program that kids can remember when it comes to firearms can be equally as important and useful for a right that a lot of them, most of them, are going to probably utilize. And that's a fantastic thing. Get them prepared for real world things, including their firearm rights. There you go. There's my opinion. I think Tennessee is doing a fantastic job, and this does not replace school security. I want to go ahead and throw that out there. There are plenty of things we can do to secure our schools, but education is absolutely key, and I think this is fantastic. I'd love to hear your opinion, whatever it might be, down below. If you like what I do, consider subscribing. See you in the next one, and as always, hold 'em down.